So first thing you'll need is of course a skateboard or longboard of some sort. Next thing is a battery. Most people use lithium polymer batteries, which you can easily get from Hobby King, for example. Now I'm going to use my DIY lithium ion battery, which I built for another project, but it's actually way overkill and not at all necessary for an electric longboard. Second thing you need is an ESC, or electronic speed controller. I'm using the VESC, which was developed by Benjamin Vedder in an open source project, and although it's not cheap, it's by far the best ESC you can get on the market and definitely worth the money. Also, you need some kind of anti-spark protection for your ESC. I just went with the cheapest and in my opinion best option, which was getting an XT90 connector from Hobby King with inbuilt spark protection. Then you need a motor, of course. I got mine from Alien Drive Systems in the UK. All the links and details are in the description below. Then in order to connect your motor with your wheel, you need a drive pulley, a hub pulley and a V-belt that connects both of them. And also very important, you need something to fix everything onto, of course. That means some sort of plate that clamps to your truck and that you can screw your motor onto. I got mine from Alien Drive Systems as well. Finally, for the wireless connection, you need an RC receiver that connects to your ESC and a corresponding RC transmitter. And that's absolutely everything you need. Now that we know what we need and what we want everything to look like, let's go ahead and assemble everything and especially solder everything together. So the hub pulley that I got fits the orangutan Kegel wheels. Just make sure that you press it firmly into the wheel and that it fits evenly. So one adjustment I had to make is cut off the end of the mounting plate because it was too long for the V-belt, but that wasn't much of a deal. Another thing that you have to do is sand down this key steel that is applied with the kit so that it fits the motor shaft, and make sure that the drive pulley really fits tightly onto the shaft. That's important. After these adjustments, I went ahead and screwed everything together. Just make sure to use Loctite for basically every screw. Final step is to adjust the V-belt tension, and that's basically it then. Now we have installed the motor with the drive pulley and the hub pulley, and the V-belt is nicely adjusted. Everything runs smoothly. So now we can go ahead and lay out all the other components and solder everything together. I just used some gold plugs that I had lying around to connect the motor and the ESC. That's the XT90 spark plug, some XT60 connectors for the batteries, cables, the receiver, and that's it. Okay, now we got the ESC connected to the motor. Next we have to connect the batteries in series to the ESC with the anti-spark plug in between. And for this purpose I built this little wire contraption, and let me explain what I did. So batteries can be either connected in parallel or in series. Now if you connect two batteries in series, you get twice the voltage. If you connect two batteries in parallel, you get twice the C rating. That means you can draw twice as many amps. In this case, I want to connect my batteries in series in order to get a higher voltage, because higher voltage means less current draw. And as you can see in the drawing, in order to connect batteries in series, you have to connect one negative and one positive pole of each battery to each other, and then the remaining negative and positive pole to the ESC or the motor. And that's exactly what I did with my wire contraption, as you can see. And you see that the red, the hot wire, is being interrupted by the XT90 connector, so that only when I plug in the shorted XT90 plug is the circuit closed and the system turns on. So it basically works as a switch, as an anti-spark switch. So with the batteries properly connected to the ESC, there are only two things left to do. First one being bind this radio receiver to this radio transmitter. Very straightforward. Link is in the description below. And once you've done that, connect the radio receiver to the ESC like so. And second, configure this ESC. Now this can seem kind of intimidating because the software is just so complicated, but let me tell you, it's absolutely straightforward. Just follow the steps in the instruction video linked in the description below again, and nothing can go wrong. That's it. So next thing, I'll just strap everything to the board, put the wheels on, and then try it out. I'll properly install everything once I've tested it properly. Success! So stay tuned for part 2, where I finish up the longboard and also provide more details on real-life performance. But I can already tell you that with the 500 watt-hour battery, this board is an extreme long-range cruiser. I've ridden it for several days now and didn't even have to recharge it once. And needless to say, riding an electric longboard is an incredible experience. So now stop watching and go build your own electric longboard.